Calling the meeting to order for the, pardon me?
I'll just wait it out.
Oh, I thought I was missing something again.
No.
Okay, February 11th,
March
Regional
10th.
Planning Commission. I'm sorry. Oh, that's submittal, okay. I'll try not to read it so literally. So for the March 10th Regional Planning Commission. Roll call of voting members. Keith Allgood.
Present.
Tony Campbell, absent. Tony Gross.
Here.
Mike Hargis.
Here.
Lauren Hill.
Here.
Brian McCain.
Here.
Mike Patno, that's me here. Chuck Slater's absent. Todd Verhoeven.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Non-voting staff. Sharon Armstrong.
Here.
Okay. John Lawless.
Here.
And Mark Brooke here.
Here.
Okay. So now I declare we have a quorum. All right, you have the January 13th Planning Commission meeting minutes before you. Do I have a motion to approve those?
Motion to approve.
Okay, a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so those minutes are approved. Motion to approve the March 10th Planning Commission meeting agenda, which you have before you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so this agenda is approved. Community input. Is there anybody here who wants to provide community input? Okay, seeing none. Old business, none. New business, we have 3 items under new business. And John, I understand that items number 1 and number 2, are they deferred or not?
That's my understanding, is that your understanding?
That's correct. Items A and B with the consent of the applicant are requested to be deferred until next month.
Okay, so yes, 8A and 8B are deferred, so now we move on to item 8C.
Mr. Chair, you need a
Yes.
motion to table, motion to table to the next meeting,
I'll make a motion.
To
to table to next meeting.
to the next meeting, okay?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so,
Can that take
Brian, did you vote?
No, I'm kind of abstaining by not saying anything.
Okay.
I'm part of that.
Oh, you're part of that, okay. So you got that one abstain, right, John?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So we're good for item 8C. All right, thank you. So the Golf Club of Tennessee, 1000 Golf Club Drive, consideration of the updated master plan of the Golf Club of Tennessee for the construction of maintenance buildings, offices, and utility buildings. Sharon, did you want to read?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was a submission, and you should have copies in your packet, of an increase in the maintenance structure and complex for the Golf Club of Tennessee, not to be confused with the Golf Club of BVI LLC. This is the original golf club. Staff has reviewed all of the submissions and found them to be compliant. Nothing is located in the flood area. And I believe that Mr. Pond has brought tonight a pictorial for that. So they're asking to approve the change to their master plan. As you know, every time they're approaching the project, they update their master plan, so that's what you'll be voting on for tonight.
And are we recommending approval to the city commission? Are we recommending approval to the city commission? Okay,
Yes.
so that's what the motion would be.
Mr. Pond?
Was there somebody else who wanted to provide comment? Okay.
So you all have the submittal in front of you. This is 2 large-scale buildings to be adjacent to the existing maintenance facility for the Golf Club of Tennessee, which is on South Harpeth Road. So it's on the edge of the property closest to the golf course. I came the wrong way first. So these are basically metal building structures which match what's already there. The Golf Club of DBI, not to be confused with the Golf Club of Tennessee, is going to have an agreement for maintenance of the additional area with the Golf Club of Tennessee. So that is what is driving this. Is needs more space for storage and maintenance, and then larger office space for more staff. That is contained in 2 larger scale buildings, and there are some various smaller structures proposed for exterior storage of materials, wash bays, and things like that. I'm happy to answer questions if you have.
Any questions?
Yeah, so that drawing of it at the bottom there?
So you have two initial drawings, and these are,
Also, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I believe your packet is an enlarged section of the master plan.
We have large drawings as well.
We got a very large copy.
Yeah, very large. This one's probably a little easier to handle and breaks down the types of buildings that they're proposing.
So are there any questions, or does somebody think they might have some questions?
Well, pretty soon.
Questions? Okay, and Sharon, you said there were no issues from the
Yes,
staff?
staff recommends approval.
There you go.
The next step for them will be building permits.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think I have to abstain, but I have to say I have a conflict in that I'm a member of the Golf Club of Tennessee.
That's correct. You just have to declare.
A
it. You can still
dues-paying
vote.
member.
Without
Not an
them, we couldn't
officer.
do this.
Was Mike the only one in here that would have to reveal that? Okay,
I think I can still vote, right?
That's correct. You just have to declare the conflict, but you can still vote.
okay. So, do we have a motion?
I move we accept the revision to the master plan as presented.
Second. Okay. We have a motion, a second. Do we have any other questions or comments? And the motion is to recommend this to the city commission for approval. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had it. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the motion passes.
We don't do an individual vote on that? No?
Per-
You don't need one.
I'll have to for this. It's not monetary or regulatory.
All right.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So item 9, other, there's an item under there, 9A, update on the golf club of DBI LLC project, ARAP water withdrawal permit, Clover preliminary PUD submission.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your packet on the left-hand side of your jacket, you will find a series of emails between the reviewing entity for the Clomar submitted on behalf of the Golf Club of Tennessee and the engineer who submitted the documents to FEMA for review. There appears to be somewhat of a disconnect of communication between the engineers conveying information to FEMA and what the reviewing engineer on FEMA's end is understanding. We have asked the Golf Club of DBI and the Golf Club of Tennessee to submit addendums to the Clomar, as you're aware, for the water intake and other things as they came up. And in speaking to the engineer for FEMA yesterday, she conveyed to me that she reviewed it as a no-structure Clomar only and had not addressed any of the addendums or looked at them. So we, with some encouragement, she appears to be ready to do that now, so that when she does the review, we don't have to send it back again for the road, the bridge, and any other structures in the water intake. Having all of the information together, and Mr. Hooper, the engineer for the Golf Club of Tennessee and DBI, is going to submit a site plan with all of the information submitted from the TDAC ARAP permits and the site plan for the golf club and all of the other information, the roads, the bridges, all of it together on one site plan. So because these emails going back and keep indicating that the data that she's producing doesn't match the data their engineer is producing, because she hasn't incorporated the structures of the road or the bridge into that. It had still been reviewing it this entire time as a non-structure Clomar. So I think we've got that issue worked out. The city manager and I will be drafting a letter along with that site plan once we get it and forwarding that to her so that we can hopefully complete the Clomar process. But you will note that these span periods of months. So it's been quite a submission and quite a length of time, and we're simply looking for a review. It's not complicated. That's all I had on that. It's in your package. You can read the emails, and if you have questions, call me or email me.
Any questions for Sharon at this point in time?
So the site plan, once you submit it with all the updates in it, she's got to look at it again and approve it again?
The grading permit that was originally submitted, the plans for that, did not include the water intake or the bridge or the other things. So they've been submitting those as they've been prepared as addendums to the CLOMAR.
Okay.
In doing her review, she did not look at anything that they submitted as an addendum. So there have been emails going back and to where her data was not coming out with their data because she wasn't incorporating any of these structures in her review. So we think that will resolve most of the inconsistencies that she's identified, so she just didn't look at them as they were sent.
Okay.
So that's been the holdup in the project. I've had several inquiries from different sources about the process. This, from December of last year, has been ongoing. So I think maybe there we've resolved the communication issue. Yeah.
So there's no action to take on this, just the information? No action to take, just information?
No, there's no, this is just an update to let people know where we are in this process. As you remember, the public hearing for the water intake was done in January.
Right.
And then the submission to TDAC, public hearing, and all of that was done for the bridge and the roads. So I guess as they were sent, she just did not incorporate them.
John, is there anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.